Have you ever finished eating watermelon and wondered, this white flesh, if I don't throw it away, what can I do with it? I have. And after a few tries, today I want to tell you about a dish that is both strange and familiar. Watermelon salad, made from the white flesh that is usually thrown away. First, I choose a round watermelon with a fresh rind that is firm to the touch. I put 1 teaspoon of baking soda in a basin of water, stir it, then soak and wash the entire watermelon. I will use this rind, so washing it thoroughly is very important. Where are you from? Leave us a comment. It's great to be able to make friends with people all over the world. Use your hands to rotate and gently rub the surface of the melon peel for a few minutes. Baking soda will help clean dirt, sand, and some pesticide residue, if any, especially effective for fruits with peels that are exposed to the environment. After soaking and washing, I take the melon out and use a towel to dry the surface of the peel. Next, I will wash the lemon. The ingredients will help make the salad more fragrant and green. After the melon has been washed and drained, I start the next step, cutting the melon and separating the white pulp. I use a very sharp knife to cut the melon in half horizontally. This way will help me easily observe the internal structure and make it easier to divide the pieces. When separating the 2 halves of the melon, the bright red color of the pulp appears, fragrant and juicy. It is truly a ripe melon that is both sweet and beautiful. I take half of the melon and cut it into small boat-shaped pieces. You can imagine it like an orange slice, just enough to hold in your hand, and convenient to separate the pulp and the pulp. Next, I cut the melon in half, then use a knife to separate the red core. I put this part in a separate bowl to blend and use later. When the pulp has been removed, the white pulp will be revealed between the pulp and the green skin. This is the part I need for today's salad. The melon pulp is crunchy, cool, has a natural light taste, and is especially clean because it is located between 2 protective layers, the outer melon rind and the sweet pulp inside. Usually many people will throw this part away, but in fact, if you know how to process it, it becomes an extremely interesting ingredient. And so, I have a plate of clean, white, crispy melon pulp, ready for the next step, shredding and cooking into a sweet salad. Now comes the most interesting part, processing the watermelon pulp into a cool, sweet salad. I use a familiar kitchen grater, a small hand grater with a sharp blade to create thin fibers. Each piece of white pulp is placed on the grater and gently pulled. The thin layer of pulp turns into ivory white, soft and crunchy fibers. As I grate, the cool scent of watermelon spreads. It feels like cooling off the whole kitchen on a sunny afternoon. When I have grated a large plate, I stop and look at the result. Each fiber is neat, clear white, looking like kohlrabi salad fibers, but softer and juicier. Next, I grate a little lemon peel. Just a thin layer is needed, but the essential oil from the peel will give the dish a very distinctive, light and slightly spicy aroma. Then I put the mixture into the pot. I continued to cut the yellow lemon in half, squeeze the juice, and pour it directly into the pot. The lemon will help keep the color bright, while also increasing the slightly sour taste, which goes very well with the cool melon pulp. Finally, I added about 300 to 400 grams of sugar, depending on your taste, whether you like it sweet or not. Then I turned on the stove, cooked it over medium heat, stirring gently while cooking so that the sugar dissolved quickly and did not stick to the bottom. Soon, the mixture began to boil gently. Each strand of melon pulp began to soften, blending with the sour taste of the lemon and the sweetness of the sugar. I used a spoon to skim off the foam floating on top, helping the mixture to be clearer and have a beautiful color. Then I lowered the heat, letting everything slowly thicken and absorb more flavor. While the watermelon pulp mixture was simmering gently on the stove, the sweet lemon scent wafted through the kitchen. I took the opportunity to return to the red watermelon pulp that I had set aside earlier. This pulp is the most famous part of the watermelon, sweet, juicy, bright red, and cool. But today, instead of eating it directly, I decided to turn this pulp into a surprising side ingredient to add flavor and color to the salad. I put the red pulp into a hand blender, just swirling it a few times to puree it. Because the watermelon pulp already has a lot of water, I didn't need to add any more water. When finished blending, the watermelon pulp turned into a light, bright red mixture like summer. But to make sure the dish wasn't too watery, I used a sieve to remove the clear water, keeping only the soft, smooth watermelon flesh with a natural viscosity. When pouring this into the cooking pot, the color of the melon gradually changed to light pink, then dark pink, as beautiful as a batch of strawberry jam that was ripening. Not only more beautiful, the red melon flesh added a natural sweetness to the salad, not harsh, not chemical, a very unique sweetness that only watermelon has. I gently stirred, feeling each strand of melon pulp gradually absorb the flavor, soften, blend with the red flesh that had just been poured in, creating a uniform mixture, light, fragrant, and starting to have the color of sunlight. After a while of cooking over low heat, I noticed that the mixture in the pot began to thicken significantly. Each strand of watermelon pulp had turned a beautiful pink color, soft but not crushed, absorbing the sweetness of sugar, the slight sourness of lemon, and the fragrant aroma of finely grated yellow lemon peel. The red flesh of the watermelon, which I initially thought was meant to be eaten separately, now blends harmoniously with the pulp, as if the two parts of the watermelon were born to meet again in this dish. I gently turned off the stove, then let the mixture cool down. While it was still warm, I scooped spoonfuls of watermelon salad into a clean, dry plastic jar. After the jar of salad cooled completely, I covered the lid and put it in the refrigerator. It can be kept for 5 to 7 days, or even longer if the jar is sealed and there is no excess water. The rest, I set aside in a small bowl, just a slice of toast, lightly smeared with a spoon of watermelon salad, and you have a refreshing breakfast, both strange and familiar. What I like most about this dish is not only the taste, but the feeling of making full use of a watermelon, not wasting any part. The pulp that seemed to be just discarded now becomes a fragrant, sweet, cool salad, one bite, and you feel the summer coming. The red pulp, instead of just being eaten right away, contributes to enhancing the color, enhancing the flavor, and preserving the soul of the watermelon. I think sometimes going into the kitchen is not about doing anything too fancy, but just about turning simple things into something memorable. And this watermelon salad, for me, is exactly that. Thank you for watching until the end of the video. If you find this dish interesting, don't forget to leave a comment below, or share more dishes from leftovers that you have made. And if you like rustic cooking stories like this, remember to like and subscribe to the channel so we can meet in many other kitchens.